Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilmore with the FX Market Insight for Thursday, the 12th of September. All right, now we're getting into the business end of the week where we have the really heavy, high-impacting economic data releases. And, of course, the euro is going to be in play now. Just making this as quick as possible, the euro is pretty much the best trading pair at the moment, okay? On the longer-term chart, it's going down. Technically, it's sort of been drifting sideways. Hopefully, it didn't get sucked into the little short-term play. We did see the euro over here just going down, you know, no major levels, dripped down to 109.80 almost. Now, it's back at 15. Now, this is just a bit of a preemptive ECB guess, very speculative trade, and we're starting to see the short squeeze back. I wouldn't be surprised to see it back to 110.40 prior to the ECB. Now, what have we got coming out in the Asian day? This is where you're got to follow the time zones and sort of keep a track of what's going on. Now, we've got the Chinese trade balance, right? So a really big shift in this trade balance will impact the Aussie, Kiwi, and the Yuan. So you might want to keep an eye on those pairs. At the moment, though, with the Aussie and Kiwi, they've had their ties deflated and really don't have any momentum at all. So you're going to need something serious to really get the house rocking there. But just coming down through into that European session, this is where it's going to get really interesting. We've got Eurozone industrial production numbers with the ECB a couple of hours later. I wouldn't really be ripping into that, but this ECB interest rate decision and statement is the key, especially with the press conference. Now, the market is expecting a little bit of extra QE, quantitative easing, no change in interest rates, obviously already at zero. So we're going to need to see what they're going to do. Now, it's a bit of a mixed one. For my liking, you know, extra QE is like cutting rates. That's their whole idea of it, to get things going. So the initial impact is lower, but the extra stimulus it creates, and it may not be instantaneous, is to generate growth. So that's a positive. So the growth may be, the market may hit the market if there is more QE, and they'll wait for the next coming months before they check out whether that's actually worked or not. Sometimes you can see that happen very quickly, you know, the reverse trade. But the press conference will be where they explain what they're doing and what their intentions are going forward. So it's going to be very interesting. It's set up for a move to the downside. We've been disappointed before, so don't put all your eggs in the one basket. A better opportunity behind this, and this is unfortunately at the same time as the ECB press conference, is the US CPI release, right? This is the number one number, okay, that the most central banks focus on. The Fed will be looking at this very closely. It has huge potential to ignite all the major pairs. So the US CPI number will be the hot sort of trade. As I said, the euro, well, it's a little bit tricky, but if you're looking across the board at the major pairs, you know, most of these currencies, like Aussie's sort of just drifting here, right? We need direction. Kiwi, well, it looks like it's stalled, but still, it's up in the middle of nowhere. We need direction. Dollar yen slowly climbing to the top side. We do have support on the downside, gives us an entry. We've got the ECB tonight with euro. That'll be decided. Now, sterling has been slowly trickling to the top side. Looks like it's found a bit of a home around 123.5 with all the Brexit stuff, but I don't know if the US stuff is going to impact that. We did see oil fall back to sort of just under 56 bucks, and that's taken dollar CAD from around 131.65, slowly climbing it up sort of 40 or 50 points to the top side. So oil in control of what dollar CAD's doing at this stage. So the US CPI numbers, you probably expect Aussie, Kiwi, dollar yen, and, well, dollar CAD's in play. Euro, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with euro, right? So the ECB may have this thing going up or down, and then we have to try and overlap the US CPI on top. So it depends on what the ECB does and what the US CPI number comes out as to work out what exactly happens. So the real question mark and the biggest currency in play over the next 24 hours is going to be euro. Okay, that's where the action is. Now, coming into that euro ECB meeting, you might want to have a good look across the euro crosses. That's where you'll find the diamonds in the rough, okay, with this release. And that's pretty much it, guys. This is the major component of the week. Now, as I said, the euro may be a bit like choppy to deal with initially. The better trade, if you're looking for a clearer opportunity, maybe will be the CPI, and we've got that followed by the US retail sales on Friday. So we've got a bit of dollar direction coming our way, hopefully. I mean, if these numbers come out as expected, well, then it's going to be a bit of a disappointment for all of us, because it just deflates any potential opportunity this week. All right. But the ECB is the main game. I'm just getting up the economic monitor so you can see that. So there's a few things coming out in Japan today. I wouldn't get too excited about that. The German CPI numbers, well, with the ECB coming up, that shouldn't cause too much trouble. And just be careful which US CPI numbers. You're looking at the CPI number, not the core numbers, for the major impact. All right. ECB refinancing minus 0.5 expected, prior minus 0.4. So they are expecting a bit of easing. We have to wait and see what they do. All right, guys, this is going to be a pretty interesting 24 hours. So good luck and hang in there. If you've got any questions, just jump on the 247 Trade Zone. All right, guys, have a good one. Cheerio.